It is Monday, April 12th, and exciting day. In 3 days, it should have been tax day. Been postponed until May 17th now. I know my parents were definitely happy on that one. I hope you are happy on that as well. So today we are going to be talking about stocks. We're going to be talking about crypto. We're going to be talking about all of the big movement happening on Ripple, LM, Stellar, also on IOTA, Algo, Dogecoin, even Bitcoin is seeing a huge surge. And we're going to touch on the cover of Barron's, which was talking about Bitcoin and how you might want to know what you're doing when you're getting into Bitcoin. Also, HSBC just came out and said you're not allowed to hold any stocks that are related, I believe, to Bitcoin. So we'll check into that title on that. So this is SPXU. I don't know why it's on that one. Let's turn this stuff off. Let's turn off the cameras and pivots. We'll get this squared away. So we have the 24-hour chart up here. We are breaking down just a little bit. Remember, we did talk on Friday. I said I would anticipate a red Monday, right? I would look for that red Monday to happen. Sure enough, we are definitely having a red Monday. I'm just going to pull up my watch list too so you guys can see. I had to reboot my computer today. Actually, I don't even know if it's saved. Hopefully it's saved so we're able to see it. Nope, it didn't. Maybe it's going to pop up. Let's see. I definitely have the picture that I can pull up for you guys. So let's pull this down here. And we had lots of activity on really? Now it's not showing my list too? Okay, there we go. On the cryptos this weekend, right? So here is my list. Maybe I'd be able to, why is it not opening up? Right here, there we go. So 410.40, it has not broken down below. 411.50. You know what? I'm chatting away and I don't have my live stream up to see your questions. Welcome everybody. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's been a long day. Hello, David. Yeah, I'm still feeling off a little bit. Can you tell? And somebody yesterday had the idea of adding my my Ripple wallet link. So I put that there if you guys want to contribute, buy me a coffee, or send me some Ripple. Would love it. Ripple's still super cheap. And hopefully if you've had a profit on Ripple, would love to share that too. I hope you guys have really profited off of it. That was the whole reason why I was talking about it so much. So we are seeing a bit of a pullback on the SPY. Sorry, my door is banging right at the moment. 411.50 and 410.60 right over here. Let's pull this up a little bit. Be easier over here. So we had a little bit of a pullback there, 410.40. So a little drawdown, did hit the 200 simple moving average on the 5-minute chart. I prefer to see this on 15 minutes. And we've really bounced back up. We will see if we go up higher, maybe up to 411.75, right? Test this high over here, and then we'll see what happens from there. Qs as well had a little bit of a correction pulling back today, likely in relation to Apple. I did have Apple on my list today as a potential short, and it did have a nice short trade to it. That was also on my trade alerts with Ticker Talker. So check out my Ticker Talker leader profile as well. If you guys want those trade alerts, they are $20 a month for 14 different setups, if you understand what I'm talking about. All right. Also had the Russell. We saw this starting to roll down. I said I anticipate for this potentially to give us that continuation move to the downside. Maybe they are still loading up, but it looks like it might get ready to drop from here. We're just above that 50 simple moving, or just below the 50 simple moving average at 2240, and it's slowly starting to continue back down. So it looks like that shot up, somewhat hitting a trend here, still rejecting that trend line. Are we going to see it break out and surge higher, or are we going to see this pull back down? It does look like we've had a slow little downward trend over here as well. A little up above, pop above, drop down, sort of a sine wave, right? And then it's come back to this equilibrium spot. Are we going to continue down from here? Dow Jones as well. I was noting on Friday, you guys saw that we had those top 30 and some of them looked like they were ready to roll over. Let's check them out today and look at the Dow Jones holding list. Interesting, 33.47. So let's look at UNH is up today. Goldman Sachs is up, but look at how this stopped right at 380. Goldman Sachs as well today, up, but was not able to break above 335. Home Depot up, likely my guess on home renovations. I'm probably not the only one doing some home renovations right now. We'll get rid of this channel over here. Slightly higher, 30 cents, not anything too crazy, and a high of 319.75. Maybe that 320 is going to be that top, and then it's going to pull back from here. Look at that run. That was really nice since the low back of March 5th. 30 days and almost 100 points. 80 points in 30 days. That's nothing too shabby. Definitely dark pool related there. We also see Boeing that is rolling over, coming back down to the downside, had negative news on grounding some aircraft. Amgen, not really a follower of Amgen, but right here as well, starting to look, is this going to curl back up? Potential. We have earnings coming, but volume is dropping off. Microsoft, which we saw, now this is again, look at how many white days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to the upside. Starts to get me worried when Microsoft and Apple start to have such strong runs. McDonald's topping off just a little bit. Isn't it funny that, you know, like gyms are closed, yet McDonald's and restaurants are open to pick fast food up? Like, it just, that kind of doesn't make sense. It's not the most healthy. Hello, Salt Life, 1717. Hello, Salvatore. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm in my office, so I've spent the weekend in the house where a lot of the dust and everything is. My office is fairly dust free, so it really didn't affect me too much. We also have Caterpillar. It looked like it was setting up for a potential rollover. We'll see. It's topping out up here, really going sideways. Mondays always feel like a positioning day to me. CRM starting to pull down a little bit from this 232 area up here, so keeping that on watch. Is this going to bounce off of that simple moving average right there? Honeywell up a little bit today. Nice big move, 3 to the upside, maybe a little bit more of a retracement to come. Visa, interestingly enough, is down right now. Sort of interesting. It seems like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, in my opinion, would be to the upside. Triple M up just slightly, but you can see that it feels like the rate of increase is slower right now. Bought 700 more XRP today. Nice, David. Congratulations. We'll check it out after I go through the Dow Jones here. Disney starting to really roll over. X is on the downside. Yeah, it has been ever since really that maybe somebody bought it thinking the infrastructure bill was really all about infrastructure in the US when it's not. It's more about just rebuilding the US, jobs and stuff like that, but not necessarily with the infrastructure of the roads and bridges. SPY is crossing up. Let me cross that off over here. So SPY is breaking out up above the high of the day. Did you miss something on Apple? I haven't done Apple just yet, Amity, so no worries there. I'm just going over some Dow Jones right now. So JP Morgan looks to be somewhat trading sideways. A lot of XLF and the banks are fairly similar and doing the same thing. Travelers Insurance somewhat looks like a diamond shape to me. Are we going to be able to break up above 152.50? I would watch for that as a test for travelers. American Express down as well as Visa, kind of interesting. Walmart is down today too, just a little bit. They just got hit with a lawsuit. Nike, yeah, infrastructure swamp relief. Hey, has anybody here in the DC area, did you see about they're putting sandbags out on the mall? Why are they putting sandbags out on the mall? Huh? It's kind of weird, right? Why do you need sandbags on the mall? WSR is setting up for a bullish move above the moving averages. Okay, we'll check it out. Salvatore. Nike as well. They sort of had that negative press over the satanic shoes. Flat market sectors all over. Yeah, it's pretty much a positioning day on Mondays. We do have Forex Factory. We do have the budget announcement coming out today. To me, seeing such a negative number, let's go back and look at these numbers, right? So when we're looking at the budget balance, we've just been in the negative numbers. If this was your bank account, do you think that you would file bankruptcy, right? I was reading about the debt servicing. Basically, the U.S. is just paying the minimum interest on all of its debt, but it's completely in debt. And this goes to show it too. Look, negative $665 billion. If that was us, we wouldn't be able to survive, right, as individuals. So it's kind of interesting. Also, I was teaching today in the dark pools in the training pit. If you want to join, come and check it out at thedarkpools.com. And I was teaching all about FOMC and how they play their role. And one of the items is actually that they control is the reserves that the banks have to have on hand. Did you know that the bank's reserve levels are this? 0. So where is your money when you're putting it in? Right? The money goes into the bank. It's a number on a statement, but they are not required to have any particular amount of money on hand. So if you wanted to go and take out all your money all at once, you would have to call ahead because they are not required to have any on hand. Hello, Rocket One. This was ever since March of last year that they are not required to have any reserves on hand. Really interesting, right? That means that all the money that you put in with your paychecks, they can lend out. Yeah, we'll check out PLTR. So just be aware of that. Like, banks don't have to have any money on hand. The Federal Reserve requirement is 0. We've got the federal budget balance coming out today, and it's looking like it will be pretty negative. So keep all of that in mind. You might want to just get some cash and keep it at home, right? You never know what's going to happen with the banks, especially if they're required to have 0 cash on hand. Where is all that cash going? Basically, the budget right here is showing that this company of the US, this federal budget, is pretty much in the red, right? And that's not so healthy for the country. All right, let's go on PG. Little rant about that. PG looks like it could be rolling over, right? Looks like maybe we're setting up for a rounded top here to roll over or break out up above 137.50 up above. IBM pulling back to the downside. If we break below 133, watch out. We could likely pull down further, close the gap, and test this trend line again. Maybe we'll pull back down to this 122.50, 123 area. Apple, here we go. You got it, Amity Jones. So Apple today, really big drawdown. Let's see, where are my levels? 133 and 132. Had it up a little bit tighter. So this had a nice drop of $1.40 if you wrote it all the way down. But that's a nice potential trade to have, right? Seeing that support set up here, tested, bounced up, resistance, support, resistance, support broken. Hey, here we go, back on down, and look at what we came to. We came to a former support, and that's where you would want to close out that short trade. So it's no wonder that it did bounce there. Look at the charts in the past to see where it could potentially bounce. Also was probably hitting the 4 EMA on the daily chart over here. So first really red day. Also in terms of trading, right? We had this longer term support set up for how many weeks? This is from July 20th to February 22nd is when it broke it. So 7 to pretty much 6 months. Actually 7 months. Then we come down, it bounces right here, and it tests this trend line from below. This is actually a lower risk short area, Salvatore. Yeah, we'll check out PLTR. We got PLTR, LAC to check out, and Lockheed Martin. Okay, so when we're looking at all of these, they have really had, we've got the oil sector that's pulling back as well. So all of this stuff is showing that it might end up going more to the downside. So I'm going to run through your stocks really quickly so that I have a chance to eat before I have to go live again at 1 o'clock. All right, Lockheed Martin. We had this setup of a head and shoulders on the weekly chart. Yes, it pulled back down to 320. Look at how we're testing. Would watch for that 400 level. It really over here, this resistance of 391.50 could be quite influential. Looking at it on the weekly chart, even 393.50 right here. You see it numerous times it's stuck there. So we might have a little bit more to go. It had a nice squeeze movement on the daily chart here after dividends. This is a doji right here at the top. We do have earnings coming up. What are the earnings going to be? How did Boeing fare so far? Lockheed Martin as well as Boeing. All of that sector, Raytheon as well. Let's see if Raytheon is fairly similar too. Raytheon seems to be topping out a bit, and we know that Boeing is curling over. So starting to see the other stocks in the aerospace. Right now, Lockheed Martin does look like it is one of the stronger stocks. And I would watch to see if we're able to close up above 388. If not, I personally might take a little bit of profit off Salt Life right there. So let's look at X as well. So X, let's make this a 45-minute chart over here, is definitely pulling back. I would watch for it to come back down to that $20 mark and bounce right there, the 50 simple moving average. Other than that, it looks like it's a nice short today when it broke down below 21.88 right here. Just a classic short, and it found support roughly 21.20. All right, let's go through these. PLTR, next going up with rockets. So PLTR, ooh, not looking so pretty. How are the other ARC stocks doing today, right? This is one of Kathy Wood's. So it was extended, it's pulled back, looking like it's found support right here. When we throw a little consolidation or disbursement box on, we were in a downward trend. Like here, it had a little box, it continued down. Here, a little box. If it breaks up above 24.10, potential move to the upside. Breaks down below 22.60, potential move continuation down to the downside, and I would watch for that test below 21.50. It does have earnings coming up, but in a good month away, so not too much of a concern on that. The 50 simple moving average, though, is starting to roll over. That's not looking so pretty. When you start to see that the 50-day average is starting to curl down, that's a little bit of a negative. Seeing that it is not continuing to the upside. You want to typically see this to the upside. And let me throw on the 20 simple moving average. Right here. Let's throw on the 20. Yeah, we're below the 20 simple moving average as well over here. The 20 is at 23.58. So we're below the 20. We're below the 50. So we're below 3 weeks of price action and below 10 weeks of price action. So that's not looking too good as being bullish. I would want to see it break above 23.60 before being long, in my personal opinion, as it seems like when it broke down below on the daily chart right here, which was way back in February 16th, it really pulled back down to the downside. Had a little time below the 20, just about, let's see, this is December 28th, and it broke above January 13th. So just a couple of weeks right there, but this has been more substantial and really coming back down. It almost looks like a GAN fan when you look at this, and then you put another one over here. Doesn't that look like a GAN fan where it's actually hitting those different levels, which is kind of cool. All right, you want to buy the dip. Well, just be careful. Isn't PLTR a SPAC? Am I correct in that? Look at how that just set up right there. It's hitting a resistance line over here, from here to here, resistance line. Yeah. This one is just showing the 13th. It might be the 14th in the morning. Rocket one. Yeah. Looks like a head and shoulders. Which way? Here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, right? To break down a wonky one or a bigger one. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah. Doesn't look like it necessarily a buy the dip one to me. but volume, I would need it to break out of this box one way or the other for it to really make its move. The fact that it's hitting this trend line over here, and it really hit that on the 45-minute chart, it would need to break out up above there in my opinion. So 24.50 for today. You saw the big one. Got it. Yeah. Anybody see my hungry tummy? A little mouth. All right, let's look at LAC as well. All right, so LAC, so Lithium Americas Corporation's coming down to that 161 EMA over here. It is in a downward trend, right? Do not fight the bigger trend. Wait before getting in long, wait for bigger volume. This does look like it has nice support today, roughly at 1420. So that might be an area that was a resistance point over here. Looks like, maybe, no, not really. But I would look here, 1380. 1380, if I got in here at 1425, I would give it to 1380 and I would say, I'm getting out. Because I wouldn't want it to continue down further and then go to 1228, which would be that next real resistance of this consolidation point down here. So this was a accumulation period right here. It broke out, boom, increased in price. Now we're discounting it down. Maybe there's an accumulation period that's setting up right here above 1660 with a bottom down at 1380. So I would say 1380 to 1660 would be that rectangle that I would watch on LAC. All right, you already looked at Apple. SPY, we already did SPY, getting a put now, ha ha ha. Okay, Fubo. Fubo's not, wow, look at this volume right here, yesterday. I always do that on Mondays. Friday on Fubo. Let me see what happened on Fubo. Fubo, that volume. Let's see what happened for Fubo on Friday. Yeah, we'll check it out, ASIF. Wowzers, that's a little bit of volume. Let's see if there was any super crazy big prints. The biggest print on Fubo on Friday was at 2365. So up here, and it was 315,000. That was the largest one. Other than that, there was a lot of tiny prints. But given that we are below that price action, we're below the 200 simple moving average, we're still continuing that downward trend. 2365 would have been just above here, pretty much once it broke out there. That this, bonjour Mike, ça va? That this could potentially continue down further. I'd watch for the break though below 280 or 21 today. I'd watch for break below 21. All right, PLTR, we already covered that. Ears, let's check out ears, and then I'm going to be really brief. Oh, we'll go to crypto too. I didn't do any crypto today. I like adding the crypto on. So ears, it looks like ears, ASIF, every time that it shoots up, look, the next day it comes down, shoots up and then comes down. Yeah, I've been watching that as well. They had the news. I think I've got my fibs on here. Yeah, they had the news that they were acquiring majority of power company, right? Let's go here. Subsidiary signs non-binding letter of intent to acquire majority interest in U.S. power plants, right? So expense in purchasing it makes sense that it might drop a little bit and then rebound in value. All right, AAL, American Airlines, nice Salt Life. Right now it looks like maybe this has found some support at 2275. Also 2263. I'd watch to see if it can go all the way down to 2263, or if it breaks out up above 2301, I would likely exit there. You're all ears, Salvatore. Ha ha ha. Let me see if I can see anything different over here. All right. On AAL, that was from Friday. Also, take a look at the cover. I don't know if it's over here. Let me see if I can go here. Barron's.com magazine cover. Let's see if it will show it to us. Bitcoin taking the plunge. So trying to get people aware of the crypto. This is big, right? This is big. I've been talking about crypto now for a couple of weeks, right? 5 weeks or so. And now they're talking about making that splash. Let's go see if we can go to the archives cover. Let me see if it will show me the cover. Barron's magazine, the one that I have, archives. Oops, maybe not capitals. Let's see. Barron's cover archives. Barron's cover. How about that? Latest cover. Let's see if it'll show us here. The actual cover. Or not. Where it talks about Bitcoin. Is it making a splash? Is it safe to test the waters? But it doesn't give me the cover here. I want the image. Oh, that's a great cover. It just shows you the latest issue. Magazine archives. Here we go. That's what I want. And it'll show us the cover here. So it should show us the cover here. Peloton. Yeah, we'll check it out, Amity. Is it really? Here we go. You see? So this is the one last week Facebook really surged higher, right? So Barron's diving into Bitcoin. The digital currency is picking up a lot of new believers, but does it belong in your portfolio? What investors need to know, right? And it's a pull-out section. So cruise ships as well. We're talking about cruise ships on the cover. We've got some water. We've got some Bitcoin floats. What are those floats filled up with? Maybe potentially a whole lot of hot air. So we'll see. It is definitely surging today. Well, not surging, correction. It's up only 13, 14 points for Bitcoin. But this article, also keep a watch. The American Airlines made me think of that, because when we look at Carnival Cruise Line, it did talk about the overlooked risks in cruise stocks. So is that a signal it's time to take some profits? CCL, RCL, NCLH. Start to look at the covers and see, oh my goodness, maybe they were saying it's time to short NCLH, RCL, and CCL, right? And American Airlines, let's talk about Delta too. Is Delta also on the downward edge? Yep. How about Delta Save, right? No, Love. Which one is it that's Spirit? Here, I'll just make my life easier. Save. I was close. Spirit Airlines also pulling back today. So watch the sectors, watch the different sectors. When it talks about cruise ships, watch the aviation sector as well. How about Hilton Airlines, Hilton Hotels, right? Marriott. There we go. MAR. What's going on with Marriott? Marriott's up just a little bit, but look at how we're butting up against that 20 simple moving average. And we just got the short signal today. So keep it all on watch. And Peloton, then we'll jump over to crypto super quickly. And then I'm going to go and talk more over on Ticker Talker. All right, so Peloton hitting that 50 simple moving average, jumping down, hit the 8 EMA here. It's giving us a long signal to go to the upside, but likely we'll get stuck up here on this trend line again at roughly 123.50. Yeah, let's switch on over to crypto. Let's go to my green list that might not all be so green today. So Ripple, yeah, Roy D. Peasy. Ripple to me, XRP, is going to be involved in the new banking system. So this looks like a big giant bull flag right here to me, right? Let's see, let's do a little drawing. You guys see this? Oops, undo that, but I will draw it over here. Right here, we have a little flag, right? Here's our flagpole. Dun, da, da, da. So let's measure the height of the flagpole. 47 cents. Oh my goodness. Let's go here. If we break out, 47 cents brings us just above this target. 186, right? It's so cool, right? How this works. Hi, Anton. So to me, Roy DPZ, it sounds like Roy Domino's Pizza because I think of the tickers, making me hungry. Or that's just where my mind is. So XRP, SEC looks at things that have value, in my opinion. Why would they potentially want to have this court case for XRP? Well, so they could confiscate the remaining coins that are in the trust. They want to say, oh my goodness, this is a security. You guys had unlawful security issues. Meanwhile, there was a SEC document that they were going after somebody else, and they said, oh, this guy works for a digital currency company, Ripple Labs. So they kind of outed themselves that this was not investments, that this is a digital cryptocurrency. So it's going to be interesting. Likely, in my opinion, it's going to be thrown out. They will be relisted, and there's probably more things to come. When we look at the volume, right? This is substantial volume that we're starting to see. We saw more volume back end of January. The court case came out. Oh my goodness, people probably exited. And then it drops down, or after, this was the December 12th was the date for the snapshot for the flare drop, for the coin drop. So there was a little bit of drop in value after that. Potentially people started to see, hey, we broke below the 50 simple moving average. I'm going to exit and get out here. Then we broke above the 50 simple moving average. Hey, people started to get back in, bounced, and it bounced off of the 50 simple right here, more volume. All of a sudden, we broke out of this resistance right here that we had set up from that news, and it just has been skyrocketing up. Now, there are 45 billion coins in the float for Ripple. 46, I think, because we just had another 1 billion issued out in April. So when we look at that, we see this, it's still moving to the upside, right? Why? Where is all of this large fluctuation of coins coming from? I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to go jump over to Ticker Talker. So we'll talk about it more on Ticker Talker if you want to follow me over there at Ticker Talker YouTube channel. I will be on over there in just about 5 minutes. I just have to get set up. But in my opinion, XRP is going to be going to 1,000 in the next 4 years, if not greater. That this will be used in the new monetary system of the ISO 20022 that they were first talking about back in 2017, which is where the original spike in the crypto arena came from. All right, so Carpe Profits, seize those profits one trade at a time. If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to email me at jane@cjanetrade.com. If you like my contributions and you feel like donating a cup of coffee or a cup of Ripple, the links are down below in the description. Have an amazing